Hello and welcome back to the Hank Mortimer Show, YouTube's slowest growing podcast channel. I think I've sorted out the audio. The voice recorder on my laptop, either it doesn't work well or I don't know how it works. But I chose just to record this on Vocaroo and it's working, so so that's good. I recently got a record player and I really do enjoy listening to music on a record player. There's something about it that just feels, it's like holding a book and reading it rather than reading an ebook. So every morning with my coffee, I put on, it could be anything from System of a Down to Sufjan Stevens, if that's how you pronounce his name, to Beethoven even, on the occasion when the occasion calls for it. But because I like all types of music. I'm not like genre heavy on anything. Maybe not. I actually do enjoy everything from country to techno to rap to death metal to classical, obviously. I really am enjoying at the moment The Money Store by Death Grips, and I just wish I could get. I'd say they have a record of that, but I haven't found it in any shop that I've been to. And I don't want to order it online because it'll probably get broken in the shipping process. Of course, they pack the box with stuff to stop it from being damaged, but you just don't know. Like, you're gonna spend money on the record and the postage and packaging, and then you open up the thing to find it's broken. And but yeah, there's an occasion for all music. The occasion for Death Grips happens to be when you're on MDMA. And I've done some drugs in my time. There was one time I did a cocktail of drugs that I knew nothing about. I ended up I had to walk home. It was about a 5-mile walk home. I'm not even exaggerating, it literally was a 5-mile walk home. And I'd taken this cocktail of narcotics. And I just had to sit down. I felt so sick, and then some woman came out and gave me money to get lost. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I'm sick." And she came out with a glass of water and a €5 note to get me to move on. But then a doctor drove by and was like, "Oh yeah, he needs to call an ambulance." It wasn't that, I wasn't like overdosing, I was just very ill. And so I got taken to the hospital, and they did an ECG and found I had something called Wolff Parkinson's White, which is a heart condition. I still don't understand it, but it used to make my heart palpitate. I went to the doctor about it, but she thought it was just anxiety related, these palpitations. So yeah, it turns out they were a part of a heart condition, which I had to get an ablation done to correct. I had to get 2 done, and I was very nervous because I hadn't had an operation for at least 10 years, and it wasn't a serious, it was just a catheter through my thigh artery up to my heart, burned away the excess whatever. And but I was lucky because in the 90s, the only the only treatment for Wolff Parkinson's White was open heart surgery. So a catheter was nothing, compared to that. I can't imagine the fear of having to have open heart surgery, having your rib cage broken, opened up. And brain surgery disturbs me as well. I hate the idea of brain surgery, them sawing the top of your skull off. If any of you have had serious surgery, let me know down below. But the hospital was great. It was a private hospital, paid for by my medical insurance. You had your own TV. You could sort of go out and ask reception for snacks anytime you wanted to. It was a comfortable bed. And then, like, that was my big worry. I always have some sort of worry. And for a while, that procedure was my big worry. And then, straight after, I watched a Louis Theroux documentary about people dying of cancer, and then that was my worry. I always have to have a worry. I don't know why. It's just one worry goes and another one comes in. I think it's just my disposition. What else am I doing at the moment? I think yesterday I said how I gave up on video a lot. Well, today I'm giving Demon Souls a shot, and it's raping me harder than anything before. It's fun though. It's fun to actually. It feels you get a genuine sense of accomplishment when you progress in the game, and its atmosphere is great. I want to play Bloodborne. I'm almost considering getting a PlayStation 4 just to play Bloodborne, because it looks that great. The Lovecraftian elements of it. And I am a big horror fan, so I love a horror movie or a horror book. My favourite book is I Am Legend by Richard Mason. I don't know how to pronounce his second name. That book, that novella was very interesting to me when I was younger. I read it a few times. But yeah, I'm playing Demon Souls on the PS3, which is great because they're cheap now. If there's anything you want me to talk about in the next one, just leave a comment down below, and if I think if it's inappropriate for YouTube, I don't know. I should actually put this thing on iTunes or Stitcher or fucking whatever. I think I'll do that tonight actually, yeah. Rather than just a YouTube podcast. I hope to be going places with this thing. Not mega Joe Rogan tier. But something, because it's fun and easy. It's better than if you make it as a podcaster, it's better than any job out there. And all the new equipment I got I still don't have the arm for the microphone to get this Link Digital thing to actually connect the microphone to the laptop. So that was another. I'm broke at the moment, like literally only have €20 for my next box of tobacco. Don't get paid till Thursday, which is alright because I live at home. So, but that might actually be changing soon. Things go well the way they're supposed to, I might have my own place in a couple of years. So I'm looking forward to that. But the years go by so quick, like when you get older, so 3 years is nothing. Like, it's mad. I met someone who I went to school with in a pub a while back. It was 6 years later. Hadn't seen him in 6 years. It felt like it was 2 years. So hopefully the 3 years or so will feel like 1 year. What's some other stuff that's happened to me that's worth talking about? I probably said this in a previous one, but since they were 2 years ago, I don't remember. But I spent 2 weeks living in a little forest on a Spanish island because I went there with barely any money and no accommodation. Thought I'd just get into a hostel. They're all full. I had to sleep out in these collection of trees. Wasn't too bad because obviously the climate was warm, and the guys who sold necklaces down the street also sold weed. So that was that. And my mum found out what I was doing after 2 weeks, and she demanded I fly home, and then she put €100 into my account, but then I lost the card, so I had to hitchhike my way to the airport. That was not fun, but I made it home in the end, and I literally haven't left the country since. I really have no interest leaving the country again. Maybe Japan or something like that. It'd have to be a safe place. I don't want to go to Rio de Janeiro, or sorry if there's any Brazilians listening, or Chicago. Sorry if there's any Chicagoans listening. I've been to South Africa. Lucky I didn't get murdered there. Sorry if there's any South Africans listening. You know, I've noticed with these, each episode has half the viewers of the previous one and 4 to 5 less likes. So this will probably have 8 views and 0 likes, or negative, or downvotes. Yeah, I mean, it is very soon to do another one, so people aren't going to be that interested in it. It's best if I space them out a week, but sometimes I just get it in me that I have to do it or something, you know. It's like a calling. I wonder, should I set up a Patreon or something now? It's way too early in the game to be thinking of that though, and it's a bit sort of a happy merchant type thing, you know. You know, because why should people give me money just to talk into a microphone about boring subjects in a monotonous or monotone voice? That's just the way my voice is. There's not much emotional variance in it, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, like, I see like the last podcast on the left, I don't know if you heard of them, about paranormal and stuff like that. They get 50 grand a month on Patreon, split between like 5 people. The produce, the hosts, 3 of them, and I assume there's 2 people on the side who do lesser work, so you're getting a sweet 120 G's a year just to do that, and on top of stuff, merchandise, on tour, all that stuff. I think everyone has considered becoming a stand-up comedian at one point, and it takes a while to actually get good enough to know how bad you are, you know, the Dunning-Kruger effect, and then you just give up, like, oh, I'm years away from that. My long-term thinking hasn't fully developed yet, or I'm not going to develop it. I don't know. I tend to think in the short term, which can be a detriment or a useful tool. It means you can sometimes go out. You can get yourself in unexpected situations anyway. But now I play it cool, stay at home when I can. Don't bother with normie culture. Don't watch Love Island, or don't follow politics, or don't even watch Netflix or anything like that. I just YouTube and 4chan. That's my entertainment. Which 4chan has been, obviously, this podcast came from 4chan, and it's been a home away from home, if you will. No matter where you are, as long as you have 4G, you can shitpost. But let me know if I should set up a Patreon down below. If it's too sort of happy merchant, as I said before. Just to say that if you don't want to give me money, obviously don't. I don't want to be. I mean, I could put ads on the videos, but I doubt YouTube would even let me monetize. There's restrictions. I'm surprised, Well, I'm not that controversial actually. But yeah, everyone's gonna have to move to a new platform soon. And BitChute, I don't know how well that's doing. But YouTube is it's become too mainstream now. It's like it's embedded itself into the human existence now. It's like YouTube is, it's great, don't get me wrong, but it's just like it's this behemoth of it's owned by Google, obviously. And who likes Google even? I use Google, but nobody likes what Google is. So yeah, BitChute, maybe Steam it. Well, that sounds like a gay sort of something sounds like a porn site for gay porn. Steam it, like a bunch of guys in the steam room engaging in homoerotic sensuality. Homoerotic tendencies? I have none, per se. Well, if traps aren't gay, I don't believe they're gay. Because it's femininity that is attractive. And a homoeroticist or homosexual has a lot of feminine qualities. I think many of you will agree. Bussy is a great thing. You can't get her pregnant. You can't get AIDS from it though. And wait till they cure AIDS though. There'll be another disease that evolves though. But that couple of years when AIDS is cured, people will just be like humping like mad. And when cancer's cured, the smoking companies like Marlboro or Camel should all be focusing on curing cancer. Because once cancer's cured, there's no reason not to smoke. Once they figure out how to properly clean the arteries or whatever, as smoking clogs the arteries, then who's not gonna not smoke? It's perfectly relaxing. The first smoke of the day is heaven sent. You wake up, you have your first smoke, you put on the coffee, you have your first cup of coffee, you have your second smoke, you have your second cup of coffee, you have your third smoke. That's just the way a smoker's life goes until it does them in. Till they're dead at 40. But you're gonna go and you're gonna go. I mean, people, once they catch cancer, they're like, oh my god, I'm dying. But you're dying anyway, your fate was sealed from the get-go. Death, and I don't know if there's a heaven or hell, or if it's just blackness. I like to think everyone should go to heaven, every single person. I like to think that anyway. I don't believe in any religion per se. I don't believe Christ was God. I don't believe Moses was talking to God. I don't believe I don't even believe in a lot of New Age stuff. A lot of that's bollocks. But it was like a lot of people. It was Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens and Daniel Dennett and Sam Harris who converted me to atheism. But now that was back when I was a lot younger. Now I'm agnostic, leaning on mystical interpretation of reality being sort of probably better than the materialistic one. Because I just feel like science, materialistic science is circular. Like an ultimately has no explanatory power, because you can describe what something's made up of, and then you can describe what that's made up of, and then what's that. And it's just this endless rabbit hole of just stuff being made, other stuff. And that's not an answer, that's not why. That's not going to tell you why. It could tell you how. Maybe the why is in the how, or the how is the why. But who was it who said, Heisenberg was it, who said, your first goal of material science will make you an atheist, and at the bottom of the glass there's God, or something along those lines. But I'm a brainlet physics wise. I suppose because it's not intuitive enough. You have to really exercise your mental capabilities, of which I have very little. I like literature and art stuff more. Like, I know in theory how relativity works. You know how like if you're on a moving train and you throw a pencil in the air, the pencil doesn't go back from your perspective, as in it moves with the train at the same speed, and therefore it goes up and lands back in your hand. And that's Einstein thought, why does that happen? And then that led to his breakthrough in conceptualizing reality. I find it interesting that when you move, the faster you move, the slower time moves for you relative to an observer who's standing still. And how you could, if you travelled near the speed of light for 40 years, you'd come back to Earth and it'd be, I don't know how long, hundreds of years, thousands of years, I don't know. And there was that scene in, what was that one Matthew McConaughey called, Interstellar? The planet's gravity was so strong that a short stint on that planet was 7 years to the guy in the ship. That was a cool movie. My favourite type of movie is probably a horror or something. A horror or a fantasy like The Lord of the Rings. Or even, I sometimes, like a little bitch, I sometimes, catch some feels while I'm watching something like a drama or something. Not a love drama, per se. Like Dead Man Walking out of me a bit, sort of, oh my god. Which is, it was a gay thing to admit. I don't follow new movies, really. I didn't see the new Star Wars one. I've seen every single one before it, except the Solo one. I just haven't bothered. I'm meaning to watch it too, but just haven't been bothered to torrent it. I probably won't see the Star Wars one in cinema. I already know how it ends. I asked the guy at work how it ends. So I know that. And it's not a huge, big, oh my god, ending. It's just, apparently it was a really safe ending they did. They didn't want to upset anyone. And in doing so, they didn't really astound anyone either. By trying to please everyone, you'll please no one, so they say. And that's something I could learn a lot. I should take some advice regarding that. I used to, actually before I was a 4chaner, I wasn't an out and out Redditor. Literally, I was on just R Conspiracy. And then when I found 4chan and then I found Paul, it's just so much better. It's just 10 times better. And they got a downvote system, moderators. Well, there are mods on Paul and 4chan. There's just the Jannies do their jobs. Actually, once got I don't know, it was a 3-day or a week-long ban for saying I was a Janny. Jannies are trannies, pop zannies are grannies. Fuck Jannies. Yeah. and it's free. I think they do it for free as well. So I would not work a cent for free. I would not work for free for. Oh, that didn't make sense. I wouldn't work for free for a cent. I wouldn't work a second for free. But you gotta work to make the money. No mun, no fun. Gots to pay them bills. Gots to keep the economy going, the world turning, the hypergamy going. You gotta make sure the society's nice and clean so Chad and Stacey can go on their Tinder dates. Which is, we are the most, I'm not saying you necessarily are, but I'm not even going to use the word incel. I suppose robots is good enough, but we not too, sexually desirable, are a very marginalised group in society. In that we're the only people it's okay to actively and outwardly discriminate against. It's the only time people like to show their preferences is regarding other people's looks. As in, ew, no, not him. Or, oh yeah, him. Like, if you can't say the N-word, you can't generalize about women or minorities or anything like that, but you can be socially ostracized for the way you look. Unfortunately, some people, but getting over that, I think that's just a young people's type thing. I think when you get older, you get over all that. Like, I'm already starting to get over it. It's not something I even think about much. It's just, it's a young people's game. Leave it to the young people, but really what's going to happen to our society when these young people grow up and they are in control? They're going to hand over the control to some dictator just because it's easier, because they can't think out anything. Like, I do think we are down the road to fascism, and I don't say that as a proponent of fascism. I say that as someone with a genuine fear of it. I think the 90s, 2000s were the best years to grow up in, and I happen to have been born in the 90s and experienced most of my life in the 2000s. Well, not anymore, the same amount of years in the 2010s and the 2000s. My formative years were the late 90s / early 2000s. So I don't know if I'm a zoomer or a millennial. Say 95 was the cutoff. Well, I was born in 95, so I don't care if I'm a millennial or a zoomer. I don't care. Well, they're just memes anyway, who cares? Except people like Brenton Tarrant, or the Canadian incel trucker, the guy who ran all those people in Canada. Taking the memes very seriously. I think taking the memes very seriously is not good. We can spend all our lives on the internet and think it's the real world. And for some of it is. For me, it was for a while. Anyway, that's about it. I'll see you next time.